Don't do it.
No, like don't update the password.
Okay. Oh, it's doing it. Oh, I'm gonna go live. Thanks, that's what it was. Hello, hello. My no more people pleasing family and my codependency free family. Let's go live. We've been having some complications here and we are waiting to go live, but everything looks as though it's in place. Hello, everybody. It's good to talk to you all. Today, I have been itching to get back on, been having so many technical problems, one after another, but we are here and we're here to talk about some things here. We got some things to talk about, you all. Um, and I want to talk on the subject of it being okay to express your feelings. Let me get my mic here. It's okay to express your feelings. Some of us have been through so many traumatic situations or so many situations where our voices have been suppressed and we just don't have the opportunity. We don't necessarily connect with our feelings anymore because of our experiences. And I need you to understand that it's okay to feel. Most of us, most of you, if you had been following your feelings and your instincts, you would not have been in the circumstances that you have ended up in, but we still have fear about trusting ourselves. Sometimes when it comes to our feelings, we're in the company of people who have the tendency to make us feel guilty about our feelings. They have the tendency to manipulate us and persuade us to believe something different from what we hold as truth. And we distance our voice, and I've talked about this, we distance our voice. And then sometimes we just don't do what we need to do as far as becoming one with what we're feeling and then following through with that. And the question sometimes I think that is important to ask is how and when, I want you to think about this, how and when did you stop feeling? How and when did you stop feeling? What type of experience did you have that brought you to the point to where you stopped feeling? Or if you didn't stop feeling, to where you stop acknowledging, paying attention, and following through with what your gut instinct, what your feelings have been telling you. I want to talk a little bit about how to get in connection with our feelings. All right. So, how do we get in connection with our feelings? It's good to embrace positive feelings. We don't need to question it when it's a positive feeling. If someone says you're beautiful, you look nice, you're talented, just take it, man. Just take it. Don't. I always say that you don't have to wait for your mind to catch up with the truth because sometimes it's just not going to process well in our minds because we haven't been exposed to that positive reinforcement, because we haven't been exposed to the positive reinforcement by other people, then time by others, generally starting with at home, then we also bring that upon ourselves. And so then we start to believe negative things about ourselves. Therefore, the result is when people compliment us and things like that, or if someone wants to be in a relationship with you, whether it's a friend relationship or a romantic relationship, then we're wondering what's the problem, especially if it's somebody who maybe we respect highly or they're very accomplished or maybe somewhat intimidating. Why would they want to spend time with me? And so we don't follow our positive feelings about ourselves. We don't listen to positive things that people tell us, and we kind of get off a track with that. So I want to encourage you to embrace the positive feelings, um, and the feelings that are there to protect you. Embrace those feelings as well. If you don't feel so good about a situation, those are the feelings that we want to hold on to. But I want to talk a little bit about other feelings that we need to be more connected with. So, say for instance that sometimes we get the feeling that I'm feeling stupid, I'm feeling incompetent, I'm not feeling like I can accomplish anything, I'm not feeling like I'm creative, I'm not feeling like I deserve to be on this job. So these are the feelings right here that I want to say that we need to challenge. The good feelings, the protective feelings, the positive feelings about ourselves, let's just let that slide. But the feelings that are negative, we want to start looking differently on those feelings. And we have to recognize that negative feelings, the negative feelings that we feel about ourselves are not facts. They are not facts. How we feel about ourselves when it's a negative emotion, that is not a fact. Okay, just because you've been feeling this way for a long time, you feel that you're incompetent, you feel that I don't have the qualities that's needed to move in a certain direction that I need to be in. Just because I'm feeling that way, the feelings aren't facts. Okay, so we've got to remember that. And I want you to be open to challenging your feelings, challenging your negative feelings, going with the positive feelings. In other words, challenge the negative feelings that you have, go along with the positive feelings that you have. So we want to keep the positive, we want to keep the protective, we want to challenge it. I'm not just saying get rid of it. I want you to challenge it when I'm feeling a certain way, when my body is not feeling regulated, certain things that sometimes we start getting overwhelmed with negative feelings, and it can take us into a place, right? We could get overwhelmed with negative feelings and it can take us into a place. Sometimes if we're not careful, it can take us into a depression. Sometimes those negative feelings can talk us out of moving forward in situations and relationships that we know that we should be moving forward with, or that we feel in our guts that we should move forward with. One thing I want you to do is start to question before you make a decision, because sometimes do you find yourself being somewhat impulsive? Do you find yourself being impulsive, sometimes even sabotaging relationships because of a lack of impulse control when you start to have these negative things to come about? If you've been experiencing that, I want you to consider to ask yourself the question, is my body regulated right now? Is my body regulated to the point that I can trust these feelings that I'm experiencing? Because sometimes when things don't go the way that we might want them to go, we get overwhelmed with anxious feelings and irrational feelings, and we sometimes let these things take us over. What I'm saying is take some time, take a couple deep breaths, do some distractions. Do some distractions. Look at some distractions. Get grounded into the situation before you make a decision about how to move forward when you're thinking negative. If it's a negative feeling about me, is this a healthy feeling that I want to hold on to? Again, I want you to challenge it. So this is another thing. If your feelings don't change, they will be manipulated. We talked about this. If your feelings don't change, if you don't get convinced on the positive, switching out from the negative, you will be manipulated. So it's important to do these techniques that I'm talking about. Sit down. Don't just react. Let's think about the positive, possible positive alternative, and sit on that. Okay. Another thing I want to do, encourage you to do lastly, and this is a good one. Avoid generalizations when it comes to your feelings. Avoid generalizations when it comes to your negative feelings. Okay. So, for instance, if you have a break up with a friend, break up with someone romantic, let's just say that it's a romantic breakup. Okay. And so now I'm thinking, because I'm not with Paul or Johnny or Bishop, because I'm not with John or Paul, okay? Because I'm not with them, that nobody loves me. That's how I'm feeling with this separation. Is that it just feels like that. It feels like nobody loves me. It feels like I'm never going to have and experience the relationship that I see that others are experiencing. That's how it feels at that moment. What I want you to do is not generalize that. That was Johnny that walked away. Okay. What does Johnny have to do with nobody loving me? That's a general statement. That means that mama doesn't love you, daddy doesn't love you. But that's what you're telling yourself on an unconscious level. Okay. I know the meaning sometimes we think is no, this is around Johnny. Well, if it's about Johnny, then let's just say that. Let's just say that Johnny doesn't love me. But when we start making these harsh generalizations, this is another type of situation or another type of reaction that can take us deep down into a depressive state. It could take us deep down into a state to where we end up in situations where we make decisions that we're not happy with. It could take us into a state to where we end up spending too much money or however. What's your way of dealing with your irrational way of dealing with stress? It may take you there. It may just be a hit on the body, but this is what we want to avoid, right? This is what we want to avoid. So it's not that nobody loves me. It's that I feel at this point, and that doesn't even make it facts, that Johnny doesn't love me. So what I want to do is, well, Johnny didn't love anybody because Johnny's a womanizer. So that's more data that I have. He didn't really love anybody. Look at his track record. And I knew this going in, but I maybe thought that it might be different. I may have been vulnerable at that time. It's not a thing to blame myself. But when I think in retrospect, with that friendship that was a manipulative person in my life, that manipulator, they've been manipulative all along. I knew this, but I stayed in the relationship not to beat myself up, but to look at it as a positive that I actually do have intuition. I do have discernment. Sometimes the discernment I'm just not listening to. So when there's a separation, a lot of times we knew that that was coming. At first, it may feel as though it took us unaware because we allowed for ourselves to believe that there was hope in this screwed up kind of situation because the person that I'm with, I really knew from the jump and I had the clear signs from my feelings. My feelings, my gut was telling me, this doesn't seem safe. This person seems a little manipulative. They're asking a lot of stuff, have a lot of emergencies. Their track record is a little sketchy. Okay. So you knew it. So you've got to value your intuition, value your gut, value your feelings. And this is the thing, learn to accept positive feelings about yourself. Wake up and give yourself affirmations. Talk positively to yourself to set up and stage a position, a situation for relationships where people talk positive to you. We're going to end it on that. We're going to be back next week, God willing. That's the plan. I hope this is helpful. Y'all take care until next time. All right, now. Bye bye.